I'm Mary Obana. Welcome to Shine. I'm all about friendly, soul-nourishing, spiritually inspired conversations that expand perspectives and offer practical guidance so you can live joyfully and shine brightly. I believe everyone has something special within them, a unique gift, a light you are to find and share with the world. You are here to shine. I believe you have a deep knowing, guidance that is ready to serve you. It is always available if you listen. I believe you are here to live with complete joy and peace, nothing less. It's just awaiting your allowing. Ready to get to it? Here we go. Hello. Okay. Did you listen to the last episode, Connecting to Your Guidance? If so, I am glad you are here for part 2. And if you haven't listened to Connecting to Your Guidance Part 1, episode 66, please do, then come back. It will make this episode all the more valuable. So last we were together, we talked about what guidance is, how to tap into it actively through trust and engagement, but also the ways it's likely working in your life already, like when things flow effortlessly, or conversely, when it feels like you're hitting repeated roadblocks, or when you receive signs or experience synchronicities. Our guidance has a way of working through our lives, whether you acknowledge it or not, always with the intention of guiding you to your highest good. But that guidance is not separate from you. It's within you, which is why it's so accessible. Inner wisdom, inner guidance, inner peace, inner love, tied to the greatest love of all. Tapping into that guidance and connecting to that guidance is like any connection. The lines must be kept clean, open, and available to receive. When the lines are filled with interference, the noise of the mind, the worry and discontent, the feelings of unworthiness or fear and skepticism, the connection grows weaker. Not because it's not there, but because of the resistance that's present. Connecting to our guidance requires letting go of the resistance. It starts with opening yourself to the possibility that there is so much you cannot see or understand. And once you open to that possibility, even if it's a mere sliver, things can shift. Now, for those of you who want to dive deeper into this whole world of connecting to your guidance, you want to recognize how that guidance might be coming through to you specifically and learn about one of my favorite tools so you can benefit from the infinite wisdom that comes from this loving, beautiful connection. Let's get into it. Okay. You've heard of the 5 senses, the ways we take in information: sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste. But our ability to receive information doesn't stop there, because those senses, or those 5 senses, leave out intuition. That ability to know things without really knowing how you know them. The ability to understand something without the need for conscious reasoning. We are picking up on energy, and energy not typically received through the usual senses. Tapping into our intuition is accessing this source of wisdom, not a byproduct of our knowledge base. It doesn't come from our rational mind. So some of our most prolific inventors have acknowledged the power of intuition, crediting it as being instrumental to their success. Steve Jobs famously said, "Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary." Albert Einstein talked a lot about intuition. He said, quote, "At times I feel certain I am right while not knowing the reason. The truly great advances in our understanding of nature originated in a way almost diametrically opposed to induction." He then went on to say, "The intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. We have created a society that honors the servant and has forgotten the gift." It's really true. In our culture, we are taught from a very young age to strengthen our rational minds and to distrust anything that cannot be proven or seen. But tapping into our guidance requires letting go of that distrust, letting go of those thoughts telling you not to believe it so you can receive the bounty of all that is coming through. Connection to our intuition, that guidance that is always ready to serve us, is a gift, and it's something we are already equipped to receive, like that gut feeling you have about someone or something. It just pops in, seemingly from nowhere. Have you ever had this feeling before you were about to go somewhere or meet someone, a feeling that didn't sit well with you, but you went anyway? Then later you said to yourself, I knew it. I knew something was wrong. Paying attention to that sixth sense is essential when it comes to connecting to guidance, and it can show up in many ways. Remember I talked about the significance of numbers? A dear friend mentioned to me just last week how insane all the numbers she's been seeing have been. Now, this is someone who has noticed this before, but over the past week, she said it's been everywhere. All day long, 1111, 111, 222, 444. And yesterday, she said, I bought something online and the total was $222.22. Then right after she sent me that text, she sent a screenshot of her phone. In her inbox, there were 111 messages. She said, it's getting weird. Connection, guidance eager to get her attention. Now, what were they saying? I take it as, hey, you are not alone. You're going to be okay. We are here. Then just a few days later, things seemed to straighten out for her. And just like that, the numbers stopped appearing. Connecting to our guidance, it is always there, and sometimes it screams to get our attention, whether through numbers, undeniable signs and synchronicities, or through our bodies. That's one of the ways it screams at us most loudly. When we need to know something, when we need to pay attention, it can manifest in the way we feel. Okay, so there are countless ways our guidance communicates with us, and noticing it all is what is most important, receiving the messages. If you're receiving those nudges, seeing signs, getting those gut feelings, amazing. And for most, that is enough. But if you want to deepen the connection even further, taking it to another level, let's dive more deeply into intuition because it comes in various forms. There are 4 main types of intuition, how we receive guidance. They've been referred to as the 4 clairs. Clair means clear or light. I love this meaning because it makes so much sense to me. Each of us has a light that's connected to the most magnificent source of energy and love, and it's an extension of it. It's within each of us. So this light, with a capital L, connects with us in 4 main ways. We can experience all 4 of these ways, though most find 1 or 2 of them typically most dominant. Now, if you're wondering which type of intuition you have, I'm going to go through each one, and you can take note of which one or ones seem to resonate most strongly with you. All right. One of the most common forms of intuition is called clairsentience. To be sentient is the ability to perceive or feel things. So it means you're really good at picking up vibes. You might feel certain sensations in your body when you're around certain people, even without knowing them. Maybe it feels like a pit in your stomach, or butterflies, or a tightening in your chest, or a warm, fuzzy feeling. You might be really good at picking up when someone is sad or happy, even if it isn't outwardly apparent. If that sounds familiar to you, if you have a knack for picking up on feelings, detecting vibes in a room, or innately having a sense about people, you're probably clairsentient. The second form of intuition is called claircognizance. This is characterized as knowing, when you receive thoughts that just pop into your head or body. I think of them as hard landings. Boom. It's like what happened to me while looking for my AirPod case, which I shared in the last episode. It happens fast, and it comes out of nowhere. You just instantly know. and the subject can be related to anything, yourself, someone else, a situation. These intuitive hits are never derived from logic. They just land like instant deliveries. Based on his explanations, Albert Einstein was claircognizant. Okay, the third form of intuition is clairvoyance or clear seeing. This is when intuition is received visually. The message can be an image that suddenly appears like a flash in your mind, or it could be through dreams. The image can be literal, symbolic, or metaphorical. Those who receive symbols or metaphors visually often come to establish their own system, understanding what each symbol means to them. It's like its own language. It's so cool. If you are an inherently visual person, if you learn visually, process things visually, and visualize ideas or experiences, you're likely to receive your intuition visually too. Those images just land. They pop into your mind because intuition is instant. And finally, the fourth main intuitive form is called clairaudience. Those who are clairaudient can hear the messages. I'm clairaudient. People always ask me what the voices sound like. They aren't like those cray-cray voices, like those dark demonic voices carrying evil messages portrayed in movies. It's not weird, freaky voices like, "Hello, Mary." It's how you hear your own voice and thoughts. But the words aren't yours, if that makes sense. The messages aren't your thoughts, but they're always loving, bright, high vibrating, and delivered with incredible clarity. They land as truth. They always make so much sense and come with this gravitas, this exactness you immediately respect and trust. And the language and messages are not derived from your thoughts or your mind, because maybe the vocabulary differs from yours. But above all, the message isn't anything you've ever contemplated. They just arrive, always so profound, significant, and articulate. Whose words are they? I know they're coming from that connection to my guidance, my higher self that's connected to that wise, loving energy. It's always wild and beautiful. Okay, so there's clairsentience, recognizing feelings, claircognizance, having that knowing, clairvoyance, seeing images, and clairaudience, which means you're hearing those messages. There are others too, but those are the main ones. Was there one that resonated with you, or maybe more than one? Some people are tuned to them all. I know I am primarily clairaudient and claircognizant. I was claircognizant first. Things just popped in an immediate sense of knowing. And for a long time, I didn't associate it with anything, honestly. I just took it as a thought. But it wasn't until I dug deeper that I recognized, actually, it wasn't my thoughts, after all. Each time it wasn't the result of linear thinking. It just came, just like that. My clairaudience, that came later. Your intuition can absolutely evolve. So why is this important? Because once you know how it comes through for you and how you receive information, you can pay more attention. You can pay attention to the feelings you get, the knowing that lands, the images that pop into your mind, and the words you hear. And you learn to recognize them. And most of all, you learn to trust them. Once you recognize them for what they are, you can associate those things that have been coming through with greater understanding. And it allows you to extract their meaning and trust in their significance. And by all means, jot them down. Writing is a great way to receive, to capture what's coming through. If it's a feeling, write it down. An image, describe it. A knowing or a message, write it down. Whatever comes without thought or judgment, just transcribe. Sometimes what comes through may not make immediate sense, but write it down anyway. But most of all, writing whatever comes through, and when you write it down, it has a way of circumventing the mind. I know if I were to receive the messages without writing them down, my mind would immediately kick into gear, making me doubt anything I received. And when doubt seeps in, you question whether your mind created it. And then, poof, it's gone. You lose it. You don't want to lose it. It was given to you for a reason. But I have to go back to how important trust is to connecting with our guidance. If you don't have this, game over. There's nothing like skepticism and distrust to gunk up the lines of communication. If you are skeptical about all of this, let me ask you this. Have you ever been wrong? Have you ever thought you were so right, only later to discover you weren't? If not, wowza. I don't think I've ever met anyone like you. But if you are like most of us, yeah, we've been wrong. So consider this. If you don't think this is possible, what if there was a chance, even an itty-bitty chance, that you are wrong about this? Skeptical of the idea that there is something greater in existence that you cannot see, that doesn't fit into the way you've always operated. Maybe you've been trained to distrust anything that cannot be proven or seen in the conventional way. You aren't alone. And that beautiful mind of yours is a gift. That doesn't mean critical thinking is the enemy. Of course it isn't. But what if there is more? What if how you've thought about all of this is wrong? Imagine this is and, not or. Imagine all you think can exist alongside all you cannot see. And, not or. One of the biggest obstacles to receiving guidance is the busy mind. Our intuition is there right within us. The wisdom of all that guidance is connected to us through our highest self. We already have everything we need, but our minds can drown out anything we might receive, either because of the noise or the resistance that comes from our egoic minds, the doubting, the cynicism, all the distrust. I've said many times, for me, meditation was the key to it all. I know my meditation practice unlocked my access to all that wisdom and loving guidance because it shut down the noise. But there are many ways you can quiet your mind. For some, it's running. For others, it's walking through the woods or on the beach. Some love to garden. Others just enjoy sitting quietly. It's about losing yourself in the moment, just being quiet. Because when the mind gets quiet, the intuitive senses can be felt, and the messages and guidance can be received. It's hard to hear when there's a lot of noise. It's like trying to listen to music on a radio with incessant static. The static is our busy, egoic minds yammering on. When the static is quieted, you can hear the music clearly. The clarity that comes from a quiet mind is remarkable. You struggling with something? Are you worried about someone? What you need to know just lands to help you, to guide you, to awaken you to what you need to know. It's why people get great ideas when they're in the shower, because your mind is allowed to drift in the shower. You're able to tap into that unbounded consciousness. When we are trying to solve a problem at our desk, forcing ourselves to figure it out before we leave the office, our minds are never given a rest. It reminds me of that Einstein quote, "We can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them." Beneath our minds, that place within our soul, there is a treasure trove of wisdom and clarity, truth, and it's there for us. Okay, now if the idea of tapping into that inner wisdom is appealing to you and you want to explore it, but maybe meditation and working on your intuition just seems like too much, that's okay. Because I've got a great solution, a simple, tangible tool designed to connect you to the messages you need to hear. Sounds pretty good, right? It's one of my favorite methods. Are you ready? Oracle cards. What? What the heck are oracle cards, you wonder? Think of them as a line of communication between you and your highest self, or the conscious universe, or inner wisdom, whatever you want to think about it, however you want to think about it. It's a practical way to receive these messages, these spiritual messages. Anyone can use oracle cards, and you don't need training to do it. Oracle cards come in decks, and once you have one, you're literally receiving messages in a matter of minutes. If you can read, you can use them. It's that easy. So the deck I use, which I absolutely love, is called Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron-Reid. I'll leave all the information on this deck in the show notes and also on this episode's page on my website. You can get it on Amazon. But each deck is unique based on the creator and the intention that they have for that deck. So these cards, the deck I'm referencing, were specifically designed for the person who wants to deepen their understanding of themselves and begin to work on sharpening their intuition. It's super user-friendly. I have given this deck to many people with varying ranges of intuitive connection, some just beginning their connection, others who are far along. It's perfect for anyone, in my opinion. It comes with a little guidebook with everything you need to know to use it. My deck has 52 cards, each with a unique message. So you select a card, you open the guidebook, flip to the card's corresponding page, and voila, you get a message. The deck is so beautiful. Each card is truly a piece of art in and of itself. And the messages are profoundly written. I mean, they're clear and straightforward, but they are meaty. They're always illuminating, revealing something you are to pay attention to, and it's always for your highest good. This is I would say an upbeat deck, meaning the messages are never weird or dark. I'm always so grateful for the messages that come through for me. And I can say this, when you allow yourself to accept the message and trust that it's for you, it is uncanny how it resonates. So many times I found myself giggling after I read a message saying, what? You can't make this stuff up. I mean, it's so right on. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Mary, how can you just pull a card and it's the message you are to hear? I mean, it seems kind of random, right? How can you be sure you're getting the right message? Okay, I get it. It can seem that way, right? Seem random, but here's how I think about it. As I've shared, we are connected to our guidance. It's part of us. When I sit down with my deck, this is what I do. First, it's important to get neutral, meaning if you're feeling stressed out by something, the cards will always reflect your state of mind and what's most present for you because it works with your energy. So if you're relaxed and neutral, you're going to get the cleanest message. So I always go to a room that's quiet and away from any commotion. I sit down, turn down the lights, shut my computer off so I can focus. Then I start by taking a deep breath and I think of all the things I'm thankful for. It could be something that happened the day before or even that day, or even gratitude for that moment of quiet and connection. It just gets me in I always call yummy place, yummy mood. Then I simply set my intention by saying, thank you, guidance of love and truth, for sharing what I need to know today to stay aligned with my highest good. That's it. Super simple. I'll also leave that little line on the show notes too. But I shuffle the cards, then I pick one. Now, I go into these sessions with openness, and I trust what I get is what I'm meant to hear. I trust that what I get is what I'm meant to hear. There's no doubting or second guessing. I just receive it. And man, it's nutty how much they make sense. That's it. That simple. One question is all it takes. And if and when you want to go deeper, you can. And the guidebook gives you ways to do that. But I can tell you, after all the years I've been working with my deck, I still ask just that one question. It's all I need. I have found them to help strengthen my intuition and my connection to my inner guidance. Tapping into that wisdom daily keeps my thoughts and actions in alignment with my highest good. It's so cool. So I start my day with it every day. Now, if you have a little or loud voice telling you, this is bananas, I don't believe it, or that can never work for me, remember, resistance can show up as cynicism, not trusting or believing that a loving force of energy could exist. Resistance occurs when negative energy is allowed to enter the picture. If any tiny part of you thinks, well, that really would be great, don't deny yourself what can come from it. Just allow yourself to benefit from the connection, a connection to something bigger than everything, beyond what you can see, that is based on unwavering, unconditional goodness. It's just there for all of us. Its presence is powerful and true. For me, it feels like safety and security, giving me that feeling of ease and peace. Without it, we can feel this sense of yearning that can feel like a bit of an emptiness that never seems to be filled, regardless of how much you do or what you accomplish. Nothing is ever enough. But it's not the results of deeds or actions. This connection, this goodness that we can connect to is not earned, right? It's something that we just have, something we have access to. I think it's why some need so little and live with such peace. You know, these people that you see in these villages with nothing, but they have such peace, right? I think it's because they feel the safety and security that comes from trusting in that boundless goodness. There's nothing like it. This is why, if there was one thing I could wish for you, it would be to feel this connection. There's a letting go that happens when it comes. Because of that connection, I trust that I am okay and that I will get through whatever life throws my way because I'm not alone. Because none of us are. Does that mean I wake up every morning and just sit idly waiting? No. I still have goals, hopes, and dreams, but I live every day knowing a foundation of unconditional love and support is always with me, guiding me along the way. It allows me to live with acceptance and gratitude, knowing I have a whole lot of love to lean on, to support and lift me when I'm down, and to guide me to be my best. It helps me be more patient and accepting, too. Does it mean I'm always the best I can be? Nope. But it means I learn from those times so I can get back on track, and that I'm not alone. And that's comforting for me. It brings me a true sense of peace that is not dependent on anything or anyone external, because it comes from within me. So that's what I hope for you. If you want it, it's available. Just pay attention and engage with it and be patient. It comes in many forms, and honestly, it took me a long time to figure it out. But when I did, I realized it was there all along. I hope for you it doesn't take so long. This is why I'm doing this, right? So you can pick up on these things and learn what I learned a lot faster than I did. Merely opening yourself to the possibility of its existence will create shifts. Trust me. And it's pretty magnificent. As are you. I hope this was helpful. There's nothing I'd want more for you than to live with the peace that comes from the feeling that you are connected to more. So much more. If you think this episode will be helpful to someone, please share it with them. And if you can, rate and review it so others can find it too. Oh, and one last note. As my focus shifts to my exciting new undertaking, news coming soon on that front, my episodes will be less regular. But I'll be sure to be back from time to time. The next time will be with all the news on what is to come. New ways to help people live with ease. When we feel better, we can be better, not just for those we love, but for ourselves. So exciting! I can't wait to share it with all of you. So, thank you for listening and for joining me today. Until next time, take it easy.